Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoBalls Talk. I'm ProtoMet.
This is my ProtoBalls, and I have a really ass chair now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the chair that he had been using up until this point got tossed out against our wishes.
Rest in peace, 2020 something to 2020.
Might have even been from the 1990s.
Might have been from the 80s. It's from the 1950s.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Chair-san.
Chair-sama.
Shut up, bitch. Chair Domo. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Chair Lord.
Today...
Lord Cherido.
Today we will be starting our 2 months of Halloween. And this year's theme is movies named after Edgar Allan Poe stories by Universal Studios that have next to nothing to do with the stories they're named after.
So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. First movie we're doing is pretty weird.
The first movie in this
also,
mini-series.
Yes, go ahead. Is Murders in the Rue Morgue from 1932, starring Bela Lugosi.
Who is the highlight of this film.
Easily the highlight of the film. And a couple of other actors who don't matter, honestly.
Yeah. You're really coming here for Lugosi, and he is just giving it 100%.
And the guy in the suit.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah, that suit.
yeah.
I guess we'll get to that one soon enough.
So, for those of you who have read Murders in the Rue Morgue, I'm sure you know the plot twist. There's a plot twist in all Poe stories.
The plot twist in this one is that the murderer of the crime being perpetrated and revealed via newspaper article that the main character of the story is reading, turns out the perpetrator of the murder is an orangutan.
In the book.
In the book.
Yeah.
Not so much the movie.
Honestly, this one might have, like, the most to do with the book. And that's saying something.
Oh, boy. I haven't actually watched the other two yet, but I do know for a fact that they have, like, next to nothing to do with the movie,
no.
So I don't actually know.
That's why I say this one might have the most to do with the book. For a little, history lesson, this is actually a pre-Hays Code movie. So this has, quite a bit of, gratuitous violence.
If you can call it that.
If you can, a bit of 30s gratuitous violence.
Oh no, he punched a guy.
Basically, yeah. For those of you who don't know what the Hays Code is, it was like, it was a... How do I put it?
I'm not as much of a film buff, so I have no idea what you're talking.
It's called the Hays Code. It was known as the Motion Picture Production Code. It was set in, like, 1930, and formally adopted, like, in 34. And it was a thing until 68, where it was basically, hey, all the villains need to die in the end, and you can't have blood, and you can't have sex. And then Alfred Hitchcock showed up, and he's like, watch this. Ooh, Psycho. What do you like that? Yeah, what you gonna do about it? And Hollywood's like, Alfred, you can't do that!
They're like a ref in a wrestling match. No, you can't do that.
No, you can't. No,
stop
it.
Stop.
No. Stop. No. And then movies like Blood Feast came out, and Hollywood's like, what are you doing? All right, everybody can do it now. That's just not our problem anymore. Basically,
this movie was before that code was put into place, at least at Universal.
Yes, it was basically a movie production code that rigidly enforced morals into movies.
Kind of like the Comics Code Authority.
Basically, yeah. A code to govern the making of motion pictures.
I think we should probably actually get to talking about this movie, though.
Right. Murders in the Rue Morgue, 1932 horror mystery. Directed by Robert Florey.
Apparently, this and the other two movies are considered to be part of the Universal Monster series.
Oh, it's fine. I'm fine with that.
Which, for context, includes other Universal classics such as Dracula, Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Mummy. This somehow counts as being among those titles. Nobody really seems to talk about it very much, and I can kind of understand why.
Yep. Murders in the Rue Morgue, starring Bela Lugosi. It also starred Sidney Fox, who's not much of a well-known actress. She died in 1942, so she died like 10 years after this came out, at the age of 34. But she made her debut the year before in Bad Sister, which is a Universal movie from 1931 that was also the first film of Bette Davis. So, bit of fun fact there. So, Murders in the Rue Morgue. How does it start off? Like all 1930s movies, casual racism.
Yep, you hit the nail right on the head. So, the opening scene takes place at what can be generously called a carnival, where various oddities from around the world, i.e., people of different color, are on display for everyone to see. This is... What year does this take place in? The 1800s?
I believe it... 1845. So, yeah, you know, when American slavery is still a thing. And just after Napoleonic France.
Which is where this movie takes place. France.
Paris, France.
The movie primarily focuses on a young couple. Pierre Dupont. Did I get that right?
Dupont? Yes, Pierre Dupin.
Dupont.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend Camille something. Which, after watching this movie, I can definitely see what Camille Badon was talking about at the beginning of Zeta Gundam.
Yeah, Camille L'Espagne.
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 Yeah. L'Espagne.
L'Espagne. We're just going to call her Camille for the rest of the
Camille.
movie. Anyway, they're there with a couple of their friends. Not really super important who they are.
Paul and Meunier.
Paul shows up later, but I couldn't even be
played by Burt Roach. Don't know it.
He looks pretty big for a roach.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, looks pretty.
It's not actually a roach, but they're there enjoying the carnival. At one point, the men kind of have to wonder if the color of the women on display are painted on or not. And I think Pierre is like, "Well, want me to go check?" And Camille's like, "No." And then they come across a display of Native Americans.
But Leon Ames. Pierre Dupin is played by Leon Ames.
Dupont.
Leon is played by... Pierre is played by Leon. Leon Ames, also known as Harry Wyckoff. So, for anybody interested, Sidney Fox is Camille. Yeah, so they go to take a look at some Native Americans.
Camille... basically asks Pierre, "You want to check to see if their skin color's painted on?" I was like, "No." Oh, the scene is so hard to talk about because of just how casual the racism is.
It's very
like the carnival barker is basically calling these people savages.
Take a look at these savage people of the American West. Ah.
This was a different time, a different mindset.
Headhunters. People who will kill buffalo and shit. Who are just trying to live peaceably before the white man came and took their land from them.
Wait, for a second I thought you were talking about the white man. Never.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But yeah, no, this whole display is very questionable in the current climate.
So then they go to a different
So then they go to a carnival tent, which is offering a display of a freak named Eric, the Ape Man.
Eric the Ape Man, and it sure is a fucking ape man.
They go in, and we are introduced to Bela Lugosi's character, Dr. Miracle, which, like, halfway through the movie, I saw the guy's name actually spelled, and I was like, holy hell, his name is Miracle? It's like, no, it's Miracle. That's what you were like. It's like, oh.
Yep, Miracle.
So Dr. Miracle is here to show off an amazing find he has found.
In the jungles of fucking Africa or something, you know, where all ape men live.
Yeah, his discovery is an ape man, which he claims is the evolutionary missing link between apes and humans, which everybody in the audience is quick to call blasphemy and heresy.
Also, it's Australopithecus.
Yes. The Australopithecus. Eric.
Yeah.
Eric the
Australopithecus.
I'm going to call him an ape man for the rest of the movie, though.
Or Homo africanus.
But basically, Dr. Miracle claims that he has cracked the language barrier between him and Eric, and he puts Eric on display.
No, it's just like them calling blasphemy on the whole show and being like, no, evolution is a myth. Reminds me of the episode in Futurama where the fucking Dr. Orangutan, or whatever it is, he's like, no, evolution isn't a real thing. We have yet to find the evolutionary link between chimp and human. And Professor Farnsworth, like, yeah, we have. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, what about Z? Well, you got me there. We haven't found Z. But one day. See, I told you, evolution is a myth!
But yeah, so Dr. Miracle claims that he can communicate with Eric the Ape Man, and then proceeds to, I guess, tell Eric's story, which is basically that his parents were murdered and he was captured, so, you know, just like any other ape on display at this point in time.
Yeah. This movie goes places.
And then I think Dr. Miracle not only claims that Eric is the missing link between ape and man, he also makes the bold claim that soon ape man blood will be running in human veins or some such.
Everybody's just like, bullshit, I'm leaving.
And everybody leaves except for Pierre and his group. Eric steals Camille's bonnet, and Dr. Miracle is like, give me your address and I'll send you a replacement. And Pierre's like, no, we're gonna just get out of here.
Nah, dog.
Nah, man, that's my girl.
So then we cut to, like, a different couple, I think. I swear it's a different couple.
Could be.
You never specify, like, this movie is confusing as fuck in the first half, admittedly. And these two dudes get into a fight, and there's just the chick.
Get into a knife fight while a chick is just watching on the sidelines.
Oh no!
Dude pulls a knife, stabs the dude, but the other guy gets a hold of the knife and stabs the dude who stabbed him, and they both die of their stab wounds.
And then Miracle just shows up like, hey lady, how you doing? Just sliding to them DMs. And fucking basically kidnaps her and kills her!
Kinda, I mean...
By injecting blood into her.
Admittedly, when we were first watching this scene, we just thought that he was just taking a blood sample from her and examining it, since the movie didn't really establish that he had injected Eric's blood into her. So we just kind of assumed that she died of, like, cancer or something.
Yeah.
What was that noise? Was that a glitch?
Yeah, it was a glitch in the Matrix.
So yeah, we're just led to believe that she just died of a simple blood sample being taken or something.
She died!
I swear, at one point Miracle says she has, like, cancer or something. I could be wrong, but that's...
I don't know. Anyway, he's just like, you, assistant, fucking name. Get rid of her.
So they cut her down and drop her down into the sewers.
They drop her down the river.
But yeah, the basic gist is that Eric's blood rejected the girl and ended up killing her, which is not made abundantly clear in that scene. Like, I was honestly under the assumption that he was checking her blood to see if it would be compatible with Eric's, and then he found out it had cancer or something. That's what I thought was going on. Nope, turns out it was the other thing.
Oh yeah, they dumped her. They dumped her into the same river.
So the sewers.
Yeah.
And she was...
Yeah. 19th century plumbing there, folks. What? Hey Ma, I just took a dump. Where should I dump it? Dump it into the river. There's no way it'll have any long-lasting health effects for anybody.
So yeah, this random woman's body is discovered by the police and taken to the Rue Morgue.
I like to think she's a prostitute.
She probably was a prostitute. They were probably fighting over the tab. One of them probably was her pimp.
Yeah.
I'm making up more backstory for her than the movie does.
Yeah, literally. No.
I'm making her a more interesting character than the movie bothers to. I mean, granted, the movie only introduced her to kill her off, but... So her body is found. The police take her to the Rue Morgue. There's, like, a shot of some of the homeless people just kind of watching the whole thing and commenting on it. It's not super important. But then, they take the body to the Rue Morgue and then leave, and then Dupont shows up. And after finding out that there's yet another drowning victim in, like, the past week or whatever, he's a bit suspicious and so offers to buy the corpse off the, mortician or whatever. Is it a mortician? What's the occupation that runs a morgue?
Mortician.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, a mortician.
A coroner.
Now,
Coroner,
whatever. Anyway, for sake of context, Dupont buying the body off of the coroner is at this point in history pretty goddamn illegal. But at the same time, kind of forgivable in hindsight, since it's revealed that Dupont is a medical student who, at that point in time, really had a bit of a difficult time actually studying the human body, what with there not being any laws to allow for medical students to actually have easy access to cadavers to study, which is kind of why Frankenstein had to do what he did in his book.
What he said. So, the next day, yeah.
Dupont is poring over his research while his roommate, what's his name, Paul, is cooking dinner and basically talking to a brick wall the entire time because Dupont absolutely refuses to look up from his research. And at first the scene is funny, but eventually it just gets kind of sad. And I just wish that the movie would just move on from this point because it's stopped being funny like 5 minutes ago. It goes on for too long.
This movie in a nutshell.
And eventually, the coroner shows up to, I guess, tell them that the police showed up or something. I don't really remember what the whole detail was, but he came to tell Dupont something. Dupont pays him. The coroner was like, I was in such a rush that I didn't have time for lunch. And then Paul is like, yeah, sucks to be you, huh?
What a dick.
To be fair, he's cooking with what little food they can afford.
Yeah.
Like it is made plain in this scene that Dupont, when he gets some spending money, spends it on cadavers instead of food. So Paul's having to make whatever he can. Bye, Paul.
Yeah.
It's basic. I mean, Paul does show up again in another scene, but he's such a non-character throughout the entire rest of this movie that he may as well have just not even been in this scene.
So, I think the next scene is Camille.
Okay.
I believe. It's Camille, and she's talking to her mom.
Yes, that sounds...
Started talking about the new bonnet she got from Dr. Miracle.
Which the mother handed to her.
Yep.
After it was delivered. Because as it turns out, Dr. Miracle was pretty intent on finding her address and giving her a new bonnet after Eric wrecked hers. I mean, it's pretty clear even from the get-go that Dr. Miracle has had his eye on Camille for his research into blood transfusion, basically.
Yeah, it's 19th century blood transfusion.
He's an early geneticist.
What could possibly go wrong? Like in Dracula. Oh, look! We need to transfuse some blood into this character, and it'll work out perfectly fine.
It doesn't. It does not.
Oh no, I think it does. I'm pretty sure.
No, Lucy dies.
Oh yeah. Well, Lucy.
I mean, it's not a result of the blood transfusions. No, it's Dracula.
Yep.
I mean, the book's called Dracula. Of course, he's the bad guy.
Yep.
Anyway, getting back to Dracula.
Dracula goes Hollywood. No. Oh no.
Anyway, getting back to Dracula. Sorry, Dr. Miracle. He's basically been spying on Camille. I guess.
At one point, it's like late at night.
He's just kind of watching her apartment.
And then he just shows up at her doorway. He's like, I need to talk to you. Please, come with me. Come with me. Camille's just like...
No, that happens a little later.
Oh.
Because in this scene, Camille gets the bonnet and she reads the letter that was left to her, basically inviting her to Miracle's place. Or at least his tent at the carnival. And then her friends show up and suddenly it's a musical number. Kind of. It's so awkwardly inserted.
This movie's weird, man. And it's short. This is a fucking short movie.
Yeah, we'll get to how short this movie is a little later, but then we get a scene where everybody's in the park canoodling, pretty much. Like it's just a bunch of couples just chilling out with each other. I will give this scene a pretty good props for the swing camera effect, where they basically mounted a camera to the swing so that whenever Camille is swinging on the swing, the entire background is moving while she remains relatively stationary. I liked that. I thought it was pretty good for the time.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember a single fucking thing of this. This fucking must have slipped by me.
This is actually when Camille reveals to Dupont that Dr. Miracle invited her. And Dupont decides to go in her stead. And that's when we get to him visiting Dr. Miracle.
And Miracle's like, oh no, I'm leaving soon.
And then Dupont's like, well, okay, just don't steal my girlfriend, I guess. He goes outside, and some of the carnival guys are packing up stuff, and one of them is like, no, don't pack that stuff. That's Dupont stuff. He's not coming with us.
That's Miracle stuff.
That's Miracle stuff. He's staying. Stick a pin in that. And take it out, because that's a super relevant plot point revealing that he's not actually going anywhere, and Dupont knows this. So then that night, Dr. Miracle shows up at Camille's place.
Please, come with me. I must show you something.
No, it's late at night. My mom's already in bed. I'm going to bed. Bye.
Slams the door in his face. Dr. Miracle will remember that.
So then Dr. Miracle... I don't know. There's also one point where Dupont hitches a ride on Dr. Miracle's stagecoach and finds out where he lives.
Yep.
I don't think... I bring it up simply because it'll be relevant later. I don't recall if it was relevant at the time outside of just simply him knowing where he lives. Or where he's staying.
I don't know, man. Oh, well. Anyways. So then the fight happens.
Miracle sends Eric in to go kidnap Camille. Chaos happens inside the apartment. Camille's mom is killed. And Camille is kidnapped, and Dupin basically wakes everybody up in the complex to bust down her door to try and get to his girlfriend.
And then immediately he's arrested.
He's immediately arrested, despite the fact that everybody saw him trying to get into her apartment because of the noise that was coming from her apartment. I mean, I will admit, he was probably one of the first people to enter the room, but given how much time it took between him entering the room and everybody else coming in, I highly doubt he could have wrecked up the place. But no, they're going to wait for the prefect to show up. My girlfriend's been kidnapped and could be dying! We'll wait for the prefect.
Yeah, we'll wait for the prefect, good sir.
So then the prefect shows up, and we get a scene that, on the one hand, I kind of like that it's included, and on the other hand, makes no narrative sense in the context of this movie. And this is the one scene in the entire movie that is actually from the original story. We get the recounts of the landlord who recounts how everybody busted down the door after Dupin kind of encouraged everybody to. And then we get three guys with accents. The German guy claiming that the attacker had spoken Italian, but also admits that he doesn't know a word of Italian. The Italian guy claims that the attacker was Dutch, but admits he doesn't know a word of Dutch. And the Dutchman claims that the attacker was German, while also admitting that he doesn't know a word of German. And they get into an argument over it.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
It is funny. And I did appreciate the fact that they included this scene from the book.
And the prefect's just like, oh God, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? And then Pierre's question, and he's like, oh, no, it's an ape. Ape man. Here, I have proof.
He opens up the thing. Camille's mom falls out dead.
Yep.
I think he takes out like a slide or something with like the... He'd been doing blood work on the cadavers of the drowned victims and found that they died of something in their blood and showed that to the prefect.
No, he grabbed a piece of hair.
Oh yeah, he grabbed a piece of hair.
And he's like, see? Ape hair! And the prefect...
It's like, yes, that's ape hair.
Yep, that's ape hair.
Heavily implying that this prefect is very familiar with the various types of hair that come from animals to be able to recognize ape hair. Upon sight.
He's a very avid animal hair collector. Ah, yes, I have something like this at home.
I mean, I've seen something like this in a museum.
I mean, this belongs in a museum. They must never know.
Is it hot in here? Is it just...
Mon Gott.
And it's at this point Dupin reveals, my girlfriend has been kidnapped. She's in danger. We have to go stop her. I know who's responsible for this. Let's go get him.
So then Miracle is...
honestly, I just really want to say this. I think this scene could have worked in this movie if it had been used at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Because
the entire confusion over what the ape man's language is that these three guys are arguing about
it's rendered moot
because we see the ape man attacking. We already know it's an ape man. But if this scene had shown up at the beginning of the movie, it would have left that bit of mystery. Dr. Miracle already has an accent that's a bit hard to place, so it would make sense that he could potentially, as if he were the attacker, potentially spout words in a foreign language that the other characters don't understand. I mean, with then Dupin saying, I know who the killer, I know who's responsible, my girlfriend's in danger, I know where the guy is, let's go, I'll tell you the details along the way. And then the rest of the movie up to that point could have been presented as a flashback.
But damn it, you're talking about it from a 2020s perspective, not a 1930s perspective.
Oh no!
Nobody cares about that shit in the 30s, except maybe, I don't know, maybe film buffs, like...
So then the police head to Dr. Miracle's place.
Except Roger Ebert, because Roger Ebert's old, man. He's from the 30s, right?
I don't know.
No. For reference, Roger Ebert's from, like, the 80s. Roger Ebert's career started in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
He was not alive in the 1930s, I don't think.
I couldn't tell you, but so the police head to Dr. Miracle's place, which is where the movie should have rejoined Dupont and the police after all the flashbacks.
And Dr. Miracle is talking to Eric, and Eric freaks out.
And Dr. Miracle lets Eric out of his cage for some reason.
Like
Eric kills Dr. Miracle.
For some reason.
Dr. Miracle's manservant has barricaded the door as the police are trying to bust it down.
For some reason.
And the manservant gets shot dead.
Like in Frankenstein.
Through the door, in fact.
Like in Frankenstein.
I've never seen Frankenstein. All right. We'll get to that soon enough.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dr. Miracle is dead. Eric has kidnapped Camille and has climbed to the tops of the roofs. And this is a year before King Kong. So Dupont chases Eric across the roofs, just like in King Kong.
Yeah.
Or just like in Frankenstein.
Just like in Frankenstein.
For context, while we were watching this movie, we just came up with a bunch of ridiculous scenarios from various movies and just ended it with, like in Frankenstein.
Like this Cuban drug lord getting assassinated.
Like in Frankenstein.
Like in Frankenstein. Come on, man.
And then Darth Vader blew up Alderaan. Like in Frankenstein. Oh, you really had to be there, but I kind of hope that we bring it back as a recurring gag. Just because it's funny without any proper context.
Right.
This is the only context you'll get for this inside joke. So, longtime viewers who hear it again, that's your cue.
That's your cue, bruh.
So anyway, Dupont chases Eric across the rooftops and then corners him on the edge of the Seine and then Pierre shoots Eric and kills him.
Movie's over.
Like in Frank? No.
No. Well, no. See if there was a fire.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a single gunshot wound and the movie's monster is dead. Like, Jesus, at least in King Kong, they had to bring out the planes to shoot him down. In general, King Kong is a much better movie.
We then get another scene at the morgue where they pull another body from the river. And that's the movie.
I thought that it was Dr. Miracle's body.
Oh,
I was pretty confident that they brought Dr. Miracle's body to the morgue.
I don't know. To the Rue Morgue.
And so that's the entirety of Murders in the Rue Morgue from Universal. This movie was 1 hour and 1 minute. Which is why we got through this so goddamn quickly. This is an incredibly short movie.
This is one of those movies where you show to a bunch of friends and then
riff on it.
And then you and your friends are just like, this was cool. Let's never watch this again.
Like I said, this movie could have benefited from having the one scene from the book be used as the prologue for the rest of the movie, with the rest of it being a flashback.
Then you turn it into a mystery and not a horror movie.
But the original book was a mystery. It could have at least been closer to
But then it would have been similar to the book, and we wouldn't have reviewed it then.
You have a point, but it would have been different enough to justify it.
I don't know, man.
I mean, the original story did not have a Dr. Miracle.
Nope.
It just had an escaped orangutan. I mean, heck, Eric wasn't even an orangutan. Oh, God, how they present Eric.
Eric's just a fucking...
In wide shots, it's just a dude wearing a gorilla costume, and in close-up shots, it's just stock footage of a chimpanzee.
Yep.
Fantastic special effects!
For the 1930s.
Like, for fuck's sake, we could even see the green screen lines during the rooftop chase scene.
Again, fantastic special effects. At the time.
Yeah, and then the very next year, another movie with an ape came out and completely revolutionized the field of special effects.
Like in Frankenstein!
Exactly.
Ah, man, I don't even know what to rate. Like, this movie is so out there and weird that I don't even know how to rate it, man. I'd rate it like maybe a 6.
I'd give it a 5.5.
Like, it's not a great movie.
Oh, God,
but,
no.
but at least Bela Lugosi's entertaining enough. And,
Oh, hell yeah.
and it's short enough where it's like, oh, yeah, all right. I can see why this was.
Yeah, like I said, I give it a 5.5. I've seen far worse movies, but this is far from anything spectacular.
Basically, yeah.
Again, Bela Lugosi just absolutely kills it in his role. It kind of reminds me of how Danny Trejo was the standout part of Cartel 2045. A crap movie, but Danny Trejo gives it 110% in that movie. And this is exactly what Bela Lugosi does in this movie. He pulls off a fantastic character given what material he's working with.
Danny Trejo gives 110% in any movie that he's in.
Yes.
Like in Frankenstein. Have you seen his role in that movie? Mwah! Mwah! A masterpiece. Won him an Emmy. Actors don't win Emmys. I think. Either that
I'm pretty sure actors can win Emmys. For
good.
TV.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One of a daytime Emmy. No, Danny Trejo is a great actor.
Oh, yeah. And Bela Lugosi does a fantastic job in this movie.
Bela Lugosi got really fucked over.
If this movie didn't have Bela Lugosi in it, I would definitely rate it a lot lower.
Yeah. But this was... So essentially, this was given to Lugosi as sort of a consolation film because, like, hey, sorry you couldn't do Frankenstein. Here's another movie for you to do.
And then Lugosi eventually showed up in the Frankenstein movies.
Yes, as Frankenstein, as monster.
But not before.
But not before and not after. But oh man, dude, his role in those movies, especially Son of Frankenstein. Oh
shit, was he the first Igor?
Yes.
Yeah, before the stereotypical Igor character in other Frankenstein works, Bela Lugosi was Igor.
Although
not the assistant of Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes, although we should put an emphasis on that. In the first Frankenstein, there is no Igor. It's Fritz.
Yes.
Who is a hunchback. In the other movies, Igor is kind of a fucking bastard.
Yeah.
In Son of Frankenstein, Igor is like this guy that they tried to kill multiple times, and they just fucking couldn't. So throughout the entire movie, he walks around with a broken neck. Like it's nothing. Oh man, I cannot wait to be doing
I guess Bela Lugosi did such a fantastic performance in the role of Igor that character became synonymous with Frankenstein.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Exactly. It's amazing. He was hunting her.
So,
No, between Bela Lugosi and what's his name? Frankenstein.
Boris Karloff?
Yes, Boris Karloff. Yeah, between Lugosi and Karloff, I'd say Lugosi's the better actor of the two, and that's not disrespecting Karloff. It's just Lugosi. Have you seen some of his work? It's fucking amazing.
Well,
Karloff plays some great parts.
Well, we will soon see if that statement is relevant, because next we will be talking about
The Black Cat.
Yes, I couldn't remember if it was Black Cat or Raven that came next.
Nope, it's probably The Black
They're
Cat.
both in though. They're both of them are in those.
Yes.
So.
I want to think. Well, The Black Cat might be 42. Let me look here.
I've got the DVDs. I'll check which order I have them in.
Yeah. But no, they're both in. They're both in both movies, and they're both pretty good movies. And it's one of the first movies where they actually go, face to face, other than Son of Frankenstein.
Yeah, it looks like it's Black Cat and Raven.
Okay. Oh man, The Black Cat is a great movie.
I have heard good things about it, and it's like the one movie out of the three that I've actually seen some footage of.
I don't want to
prior to.
I don't want to spoil anything, but The Black Cat is one of those movies where it's like there's no good guy. There's absolutely no good person in that movie. Everybody except for the American couple is a fucking bastard. But that's for next time.
Yes.
Any recommendations you got?
Well, since I can't recommend any more Junji Ito because I kind of exhausted that in past videos, I'm actually going to change gears and talk about a comedy. Daria from MTV.
Okay.
It aired on MTV in the early 2000s and is an animated sitcom focusing on a social misfit by the name of Daria who is basically stuck in your stereotypical high school, complete with all of its glaring flaws. And it is basically a send-up of all those glaring flaws of school life. Without being straight-on parody. Pretty damn funny.
I'm sure a lot of people... there's people who see it and talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. It's one of those series I couldn't get into.
Well, I watched it earlier this year, so it's a bit fresher in my mind. I did used to watch it when I was in high school, though, so the fact that I feel that it still holds up is a pretty good indicator. Also, apparently it's getting a spin-off, which I thought I had heard about that. Then I kind of just thought that it was dead in the water because I hadn't heard anything about it. But then I looked it up and no, apparently they're going forward with this spin-off. So, good on them. Which is kind of weird considering that Daria is itself a spin-off of Beavis and Butthead of all things.
Mike Judge?
No, actually, Mike Judge did Beavis and Butthead, but he didn't have any control over Daria. That was actually created by two other people. In fact, the show Daria never actually makes reference to the fact that it even is connected to Beavis and Butthead. Like the show, from what I understand, the writers of the show didn't want there to be a direct connection between Daria and Beavis and Butthead right away. They wanted to establish the world of Daria as being its own thing before incorporating elements of Beavis and Butthead, but by the time they had firmly established the world of Daria, they felt there was no need to reestablish anything connecting it to Beavis and Butthead. So you can watch this series completely free of the context of Beavis and Butthead and not miss a goddamn thing, and it's pretty fantastic.
Dang, I'll tell you what, man.
To give you an example of what some of the characters in the series are like, there's Daria's sister Quinn, who is an absolute fashion diva.
Like in Frankenstein!
Let's see, there's the football quarterback Kevin, who is a moron, and his girlfriend, the head cheerleader Brittany, who is slightly less of a moron, somehow.
Is a bitch?
Not really. She's just an idiot. Like, you would expect there to be, like bullies or characters, but no, this series doesn't have anything like that in it at all, so it's just angry teachers. There's one teacher who's just, he is just so goddamn nice to a fault, like nobody really takes him seriously because he is such a, well, pansy?
Oof. I feel that.
Although there is one teacher who does take a fancy to him because of that trait. And she's like hardcore feminist because of past relationships that did not go over very well for her. She's clearly got a chip on her shoulder. And then you've got, like, the principal of the school who is clearly only doing stuff for the profit that the school brings. Like there's one episode where she basically turns the entire school into a huge advertisement for a soft drink because the company is paying her to do so. And it does not go over well at all by the end of it. And then you've got Daria's parents, a workaholic mother, and an anxiety-ridden, naive fool of a father. Series is freaking great. It's just biting satire all around.
Yep.
Although it does have its weird episodes, like the episodes where the personifications of various holidays show up, and that's just a thing that you have to accept as being relevant for that one episode, and it's never talked about ever again.
Dang old, tell you what, man, talking about Rubik's Cube, man, talking about turn one side, turn the other side, dang old, get one side of it, and dang old other side's messed up, man, you know what I'm talking about?
You said it slow enough so that I could.
Yeah. I didn't say it.
You didn't say it fast enough.
Boomhauer.
So what's your recommendation?
God, I can't think of any right now. I've got a few on my head. I don't know if I've talked about Nagatoro-san. Don't.
Is that the one where they're basically in a dating sim, except the main character is a side character, or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one. No, Nagatoro-san is a manga series where the main character is a very good artist, but is not very self-confident, and this underclassman, Nagatoro-san, basically bullies him, but like in a playful way.
Don't tease me, Nagatoro-san?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't read it, but it keeps popping up on Amazon as a recommendation.
Do you want a copy of the first volume?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm still trying to get through one of the more recent volumes of Komi.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But no, it's a good series. You know, there's some character development there. There's also some fucking great meme material, such as internal genociding.
I'm just trying to think of how that could work.
So, the scene plays out that Nagatoro basically likes the main character, but doesn't know how to verbalize it, so she bullies him.
So, kind of like what most bullies in most traditional media.
Yes. Yeah.
They pick on you because they like you.
Yes.
Don't know how to express it. That kind of BS.
Yeah, basically. But like, one of her friends starts talking to the main character, and like, basically it's like, hey, I need you to fake date me for some I can't remember for what reason, and Nagatoro is listening to this, and she's got this glance like she's ready to fucking murder everybody. Because she's one of those kind of...
Oh, yandere?
Not like a yandere. Well, yes.
Borderline yandere?
Borderline yandere, where she's, like, very possessive of him. And so, like, the scene is just, like, internal genociding. Oh, yeah.
It just reminds me of Yamai from Komi.
Yeah? Just about, yeah.
For anybody who's read up to that point, that is a reference you will get, and I will not provide any context for Yamai any further. Go read Komi Can't Communicate.
There you go.
That does look pretty meme-worthy. Actually, maybe I will give that a shot.
Yeah.
Like, if it's got that kind of meme material, like...
Dude, she's fucking great.
Oh, the meme material just reminds me of Kaiju Girl Caramelise, and it's meme-worthy facial expressions. I won't go into too much detail about that because I actually made a whole video over on Gamezilong talking about that. So
right.
So, anything else we want to talk about? Because this is still under an hour.
How's wrestling?
It's okay. And
You watch. What was it? Backlash or Payback?
yes, it was Payback.
Right. Okay. What'd you think?
It was okay.
It's okay. I thought it was okay. I'm pissed that Asuka lost one of her matches, though. Fuck that. She should have been
I
out.
think it was SummerSlam.
Oh.
Payback was the one that came after SummerSlam.
Yes. Well, you know what I mean.
Actually, it was basically SummerSlam Part 2, considering it came out 1 week later. So,
give me a second. Let me look up the card. I don't even think Asuka was there. I don't think she was.
No, I'm pretty.
No, she wasn't. That's what I was pissed off about, because Asuka wasn't even fucking on the card. No, well.
Yeah, no, it was basically just the
Iconics got broken up, which is like, what the fuck, you know? They're a good tag team. I mean, yeah, they're not the best, but you know they're a fucking tag team. Don't fucking break them up. Why are you breaking them up?
I'm not gonna lie, Raw really needs to get its act together with its tag team matches because
Bobby Lashley fucking beat Apollo Crews. Yeah, no, they need to fix their tag matches because they're shit.
Seriously, how many times are they just going to have the Street Profits versus Andrade and Gabriel Angel Garza?
Gabriel Garza. Huh?
Gabriel
Garza. Olay.
Like, seriously, how many times are they going to do that before they get sick of it?
Because
I'm sick of it.
Because they don't have any fucking tag teams.
Yes, they do. They've got plenty of tag teams. They're just stuck in other storylines. They had Seth Rollins and
Murphy.
Buddy Murphy.
But they're not a tag team.
They practically are, given how often they team up.
Anyways, Bobby Lashley beats Apollo Crews. Fuck that. Fuck Bobby Lashley. He's kind of shit.
Yeah, they really need to do something about his full Nelson, because that is like just OP as fuck. Needs to be nerfed.
Fuck off. Shut up. Big E defeats Sheamus. Good. Good on Big E, getting that push. Matt Riddle defeated fucking Corbin, which good. Fuck Corbin. He's a piece of he can't wrestle for shit. And yeah, I said it. Corbin can't wrestle for shit. How do you like that, Corbin fans? I don't care about your feelings.
Look, you can't insult people who don't exist.
Oh no, I know there's Corbin fans out there, and I just question them sometimes. It's like, what do you see in him? He has the personality of a fucking brick. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defeated Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Twice. They beat him in their rematch.
Like, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax are now the tag team champions.
I mean, there's clearly tension between the two, but
no. But fuck Nia Jax. She can't wrestle for shit. Why is she on my television? I want to know this. Why are they so high on her when she can't wrestle for shit? Why? Shayna Baszler, I can understand, but, I mean, she's not much better. Keith Lee defeated Randy Orton. Good match.
Yeah.
Very good match.
Yeah.
Keith Lee winning is absolutely the right decision here. Absolutely the right decision. They're going to strap a rocket to him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning the WWE Championship at some point in his career. He's got a great look. Take the fucking shirt off and give his old theme back, because his old theme was great.
I will admit, I don't watch NXT, but god damn if he didn't impress me at the Royal Rumble earlier this year.
Yeah, Keith Lee's amazing.
He stood out. It was like, I kind of want to check out NXT now. Not enough to actually do it beyond one episode, but...
Like, let's put this into perspective. The ratings dropping as much as they have in the last 5 months has nothing to do with Drew McIntyre. It has nothing to do with none of the big players. It has nothing to do with any of the big players. It has to do with the fucking booking. It has everything to do with the fact that WWE doesn't know what the fuck to do right now.
Especially on Raw.
Especially on Raw. Like,
Like I said earlier, there's only so many times that you can watch matches between the Street Profits and Andrade and Angel before it gets tiring. And that point, for me, has passed.
Like, as soon as we start getting crowds again, ratings might start getting better. But who knows how long that'll be.
And maybe the Thunderdome will be helping somewhat.
The Thunderdome did actually help quite a bit. It helped raise ratings for a bit. But the point is, the booking is what's wrong with WWE, and it's because the guy fucking running the show is old and out of touch and needs to fucking go.
At least on Raw, I think they're doing a better job.
They fired Paul Heyman. That's the problem.
Again?
They fired Paul Heyman from creative.
Okay. Because he was, like, literally on SmackDown.
He was on... Yeah. No, they kicked him downstairs, is what they did.
I mean, I suppose...
And they put Vince's stooge fucking...
I mean, I suppose that the COVID layoffs probably did not help situations, because...
Oh, no! No! WWE was in line to make a profit before they fired all those people. They were in line to make a massive profit, and then they decided, no, let's just fuck a bunch of people over and fire them. Because, Vince McMahon's a fucking asshole. It's been well established throughout history, he doesn't give a shit. He'll make money no matter what. Anyways. Dominic and Ray beat Seth Rollins and Murphy. Good match.
Finally.
Good match.
I mean, again, that is another storyline that I'm glad finally had something different happen. Because let's not lie to ourselves. For the past couple months, that storyline has basically been standing still, despite how much it looks like it's moving forward. The fact that we finally have Seth Rollins turning against Buddy Murphy in last week's Raw was a good start to changing things up. Because again, there are only so many times I can watch matches between the same goddamn people over and over and over again.
And we get the biggest storyline out of Payback. Roman Reigns turned heel, folks. God in front of God and everybody. They finally fucking did it. They finally pulled the trigger on a fucking Roman Reigns heel turn. By winning the Universal Championship between Braun Strowman and The Fiend. And you know what? Good riddance. I'm fucking done with that storyline. I'm sorry, but Bray Wyatt needs to go away again for a while. Honestly, he needs to go away for a while.
Meanwhile, with Alexa Bliss, she's clearly becoming an acolyte of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, fucking fantastic! Yay! That's what we need. Man.
I personally am enjoying it, so I have shit tastes, I guess.
You do have shit tastes. At least you admit it, though. God. But no, yeah, Roman Reigns beats The Fiend and Braun Strowman in a no-holds-barred triple threat match where Roman wasn't even in most of the match.
Yeah, it took Bray and Braun destroying the ring before Roman Reigns came in, signed the contract, and pinned Braun for the win.
And you know what? I'm fine with it, because Brock's gone. Brock's done with WWE now. Big news there. He's done with shit.
And Roman's is definitely better on the mic. He doesn't need Paul Heyman talking for him all the time like Brock did.
Yeah, I suppose. Just let Roman say whatever.
I mean, shit. The reveal that he was working with Paul Heyman was fantastic. I feel.
Basically, they had been booking Roman wrong for years. Okay, they kept
trying to push him as a face when
they kept making him John Cena. And Roman Reigns is not John Cena. He cannot get away by being John Cena 2.0. Roman Reigns just needs to be Roman Reigns, the silent fucking badass that Veni Vidi Vici. That's all he needs. I came, I saw, I conquered.
It's kind of what his shirts are saying now.
Yes. That's how they should have booked Roman Reigns, as just this badass territorial force. Comes in, beats the shit out of people, says one or two things, and then leaves.
Tell us how you really feel.
WWE could have done a lot better in the last few years. That's how I feel. Shinsuke Nakamura should have been a WWE champion. If only for a month. Should have just rode that wave of momentum. Daniel Bryan should have won the 2014 Royal Rumble. Just my opinion. That's what he should have done.
I'm curious just what the hell they're trying to do with Retribution. Like, what is that whole storyline even supposed to be, other than a tone-deaf reflection of the current state of affairs?
It's a bunch of undercarders who are like, we've been treated like shit, and now we're uprising. We want better standing in the world of WWE. I don't fucking know. I don't
fucking know what they're doing with that. We're over an hour now. Let's bring this episode to a close.
Do we have to? Hold on. What's next? Oh, Clash of Champions. What's booked for? Oh, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. I bet Drew McIntyre is gonna win. Roman Reigns versus What? Wait, what? Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship?
Yeah, that was determined this past Friday on SmackDown.
Why?
They had a fatal four-way with Matt Riddle, Corbin, and I'm trying to remember who else was there aside from Jey Uso.
Was it Jimmy Uso?
No. Was it Shorty G? It probably was not Shorty G. It was probably somebody else. But yeah, no, Jay won the...
Big E, Riddle, Corbin, and Sheamus. Sheamus attacked Big E backstage, taking him out of the match. Big E was subsequently replaced by Jey Uso. You don't even let Big E get like a title match? Are you... that makes me very angry.
I do kind of like how they took him out. Before.
I get it. I get taking him out to continue the Sheamus Big E storyline. I get that.
And I liked how they executed it because Big E was super excited for. It was either Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods finally coming back, and he baked a cake and everything, and he was told that they were in the parking lot, so he went out to go get him and was blindsided by Sheamus. Who then threw him onto a car.
I don't know why Corbin even gets a title shot. Why he even deserves to be in that Fatal 4-Way. He fucking lost. He's a loser. He doesn't deserve to be there. And neither does Sheamus. He lost. Why don't you put some fucking winners in there? Like Matt Riddle, I get. Big E, I could get. The other two, fuck them. They're losers. Why don't you put Keith Lee in that match or something?
He's on Raw.
But he's on Raw. That's right.
I mean, they probably would have if he was on SmackDown.
Who the fuck do they have on SmackDown now?
They've got Roman Reigns, Bray, Braun, Alexa and Nikki, the former tag team champions Bayley and Sasha Banks. And
they're no longer together. They turned against each other.
Yep. That happened last Friday as well.
Yep.
Trying to remember. Matt Riddle, Corbin, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro. I'm trying to think of more. I know there's more.
Point is, it looks like... Looks like SmackDown has a pretty big fucking dearth of main event stars. Because if your Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership of the Universal Championship is fucking Baron Corbin, Sheamus, Big E, and Matt Riddle of all fucking people, and no disrespect to Big E, he's a mid-carder, and he's still working his way up. So let him win a few more matches, more pay-per-view matches, and let him build his way up. Sheamus, I can understand I can get Sheamus maybe being a main event star, but he lost. so he should be disqualified. Corbin, he should fucking stay a jobber for life. And Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle's a good wrestler. He's fine, but nothing of... He's not a big star yet. So...
But he is a rising star.
He is a rising star, but he's not a big star yet. So why Jey Uso? Of all people, why Jey Uso? I get it makes sense from a story perspective, but why? What makes you think Jey Uso stands a fucking chance of beating Roman Reigns? From a story perspective. Roman Reigns is willing to do anything it takes to win. Okay? Even go against what he stood for years. Okay? What makes you think Jey Uso stands a fucking chance? Especially with Paul Heyman backed in his corner.
I don't think there's much of a chance. But I am interested in seeing how it plays out and see what they do with it.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to turn Jey Uso into, well, he was close to winning. Let's see if Jimmy has a shot. And then Jimmy will get close to winning. And then it'll denigrate Roman Reigns. Because it'll make it look like he's about to lose to two fucking mid-card tag team jobbers. At this point. And I'm not saying Jimmy and Jey Uso are jobbers necessarily. But at this point, they're not really involved in anything. So as far as I'm concerned, they're jobbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I will give SmackDown credit because it feels like it's actually being a lot more creative than Raw has been lately. Like, I feel like things have been shaken up a lot more over on SmackDown than they have on Raw. Again, we got the Monday Night Messiah, and we've got Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel. And
I'm fine with Seth Rollins being the Monday Night Messiah. It's fine. I like that.
It would be fine if they did anything other than him simply antagonizing the Mysterio family for months on end.
I get what you mean. But at the same time, it's also long-term story booking.
I get that.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't fall into that trap of Vince Russo booking where shit's got to get done in a month, and we need 6 months of storylines done in 2 months. You know what I mean?
But that's not really helping the situation with the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel.
They just need more teams. You know,
I know.
WWE has literally like 1,000 fucking wrestlers that they could put together and make a team. Why they don't do it, I don't know. They have fucking hours upon hours of supplementary of television. They've got Superstars, they've got Main Event, they've got NXT, NXT UK, they've got Raw, they've got SmackDown, they've got 205 Live. Make some fucking tag teams. And why don't you put them on Raw and put them on SmackDown? And you don't need to showcase them every fucking week. But you know what? You have some fucking job teams so that teams that you're pushing can win. So it's not the same fucking Team A versus Team B every fucking week. It's simple fucking booking. I could do it.
Shit, they don't even have jobbers now.
No! And that's the problem with WWE. Everyone's a star. Nobody's a fucking loser. And that's what wrestling needs. They need losers. Because losers help the winners look good. That's the point.
Shit, Lucha Underground is even getting a push. Somehow.
Lucha House Party, you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Not Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I know. Lucha Underground was a different show altogether. Yeah. I get the two confused. They both have Lucha in their name.
Like, how do I put this? WWE has a lot of tag teams, but they don't have much of a tag team division. And you go to AEW, and AEW has a fucking surplus of tag teams. Okay? They've got tag teams out the fucking ass. They've got more tag teams than they know what to do with.
Maybe WWE should go to AEW and buy some tag teams in bulk.
Maybe. Maybe like
it was an outlet store or something.
Yeah, like it's fucking toilet paper and it's going out of style. I'll take 12 tag teams, please. A 12-pack of tag teams.
But yeah, no, seriously, they have a bunch of potential tag teams that they're just not doing anything with outside of...
6 years ago, 2014. No, I take that back. In 2015, WWE had maybe 6 tag teams at the most. Off the top of my head, you had the Usos, who were always there. You had Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. Fantastic fucking tag team, and I'm still sad that Tyson Kidd got injured and he had to retire. Thanks, Samoa Joe. You know what? That's another person who could come back sometime soon. Samoa Joe.
Well, they've been having him do commentary.
I know they've been having him do commentary. I don't know if he's great at it. And I'm not saying, like, you can't stop him from doing do like Jerry the King Lawler did in the 90s. An active wrestler who also does commentary. Have him do some matches, but the rest of the show have him commentate. And push storylines. It's so simple.
For those of you just joining us, we're no longer talking about murders in the Rue Morgue, and probably haven't for a good half hour now.
No. At this point, this is ProtoBalls Podcast Plus, where we discuss murders in the Rue Morgue and wrestling.
Yes, I'll just put that in the title. Murders in the Rue Morgue plus wrestling.
Yes.
Plus WWE wrestling. Kind of unintentional.
Yeah.
But that's what happened.
Like, what are the tag teams in WWE right now? Because there's fucking...
Street Profits, Andre and Angel Garza, the Viking Raiders, Lucha House Party, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Why aren't they doing anything with them?
Shinsuke and Cesaro?
Yes.
They recently won tag team champions. They're current tag team champions.
Okay. Oh, on SmackDown. I mean on Raw.
Oh, you were just talking about Raw. I thought you meant overall.
No.
We got Street Profits, Andre versus Andre and Angel, Viking Raiders.
That's about it, right? I mean,
for the rest of these, I kind of have to stretch it a bit, but Monday Night Messiah and Buddy Murphy.
Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. They're a fucking tag team.
Why? Yeah, but they're stuck in a storyline with
with the Hurt Business. Why aren't
Hurt Business?
The Hurt Business. Why aren't they turning Shelton Benjamin and MVP into a tag team, or Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, or MVP and Bobby Lashley into a tag team?
They've had enough tag matches that they totally could.
Ah, God.
I will give Raw a little bit of
the New Day, but their storyline injured.
Yeah. Also, they're on SmackDown.
Oh yes, they are.
Raw Underground. I mean, I think that's an interesting thing. Basically, pit fighting.
Like, and then they go ahead and they get rid of. They go ahead and get rid of the Authors of Pain, which is, like, I get it. They get injured a lot, but at least fucking use them. Put them on Raw. Raw needs tag teams right now.
Yeah, seriously. I will admit, the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, utilized them heavily, and then COVID happened, now he's just using Buddy Murphy.
What the fuck is that team name? Bliss Cross Applesauce. What the fuck is that team name?
That's genius is what it is.
Uh-huh.
But that one probably is in jeopardy at this point. But that's also on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's just...
WWE has a bunch of tag teams, but they don't have a tag division, which is my point. That's my point. WWE has a lot of tag teams, but no tag team division. Why? Because they have them split apart. They have them split across 4 fucking brands.
And then we get shit like Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza, Part 13.
And then they went and got, like, the biggest problem is the biggest problem this year is that they fucked off a lot of their tag teams. They pissed off a lot of their tag teams and had them fucking leave. Like the Revival. You pissed on them. You fucking pissed in their mouths and they left and now they're in AEW and they're one of the big stars there. You fucked them in the mouth. And they didn't like it. So they fucking left.
You should have said you fucked them in the mouth, then pissed in their mouth, and they didn't like it.
And they didn't like it. No, sir. No, sir. I don't like it. Like in Frankenstein.
And with that, we'll bring this episode to an end.
That was my rant on wrestling. Thanks, everybody. It's fucking dumb, but that's me. See ya.
Bye.